It's mid-February and my attention starts to turn to what can I prune around the garden at this time of year. Now there's not too much, but there are a few things. One of the plants I do like to prune at this time of year is Buddleja or butterfly bush. Now, usually pruned during February, March and April. A lot of people will do it in those later months. I like to stagger my pruning, especially if you have a few bushes around the garden. It's handy and helpful to stagger that pruning, do some in February, do some in March, do some in April. What that allows is for an extended flowering season, which is going to be important later on in the year for our native butterflies and bees, as a lot of our butterflies do not fly or emerge until sort of August, September time, when we've got the real warmth in the year. And this thing is going to be in full flower then, especially if you've staggered, and that's going to provide them with a lot of nectar to do what they need to do. Okay, so I like to generally cut 2 leafing buds up the stem. So you can see here we've got 2 strong sets of buds. I normally like to cut above the second bud. You could cut above the first bud if you want to cut back hard. It just depends on your personal preference. That's the way I do it. Now if you had a taller shrub that's got a lot more thicker wood and it's more of a small tree, you can hard prune them. They will take it, but they can suffer a little bit of shock. So one way would be to reduce the height by 1/3 and then take out half of the stems of the tree to that cutting height. That'll reduce the shock on the tree, on the plant, and then the following season you can do the same again. The stems we left, you can reduce them down, and your new stems that have grown, you can again bring them down to the normal cutting height. That will basically refurbish that plant. So as you can see, that's this one pruned. I've pruned this one down to about hip height. That's where I like to take it down to. It'll put on plenty of growth during the summer. Again, it'll get up to its 5 or 6 foot height, and it's going to be great. I've pruned out a lot of the dead wood that was in there just to keep the plant clean and tidy. Also reduces the risk of disease. Nice strong buds on it. As the weather warms up, these are going to start to rocket up and we'll have a good bush in no time. I'm going to carry on pruning the rest of these. So if we've got a dry day, get out with the pruners and start to prune your Buddleja and prepare them ready for the growing season ahead.